Hey fellow YouTubers, this is N0AGI. I'm working on a project for my Jeep, and it's sort of like an accessory tool for my recovery system bag that goes with my Jeep. So what I'm building is a TRAX product, if you will. Now, for some reason, my earlier part of my video was corrupt, so I'm reshooting this segment of the video, and I'll make sure I patch this as part of my YouTube upload. So what it is really a traction system that'll allow me to pull myself out of a snow situation or an ice situation. Snow is not such a big deal, not a problem per se for my Jeep, but for a situation where there's tons of ice, it's hard for the Jeep to recover itself because there isn't much of a traction on top of the icy condition. So what I'm building is a traction system that will allow my Jeep to recover from a scenario like if I got stuck in an icy condition. This will allow me to get out of there. Okay, so what it is a flat panel. Let's say there are two flat panels in parallel, and I have a few angled stock that's welded together. And then there's a hinge point here, another pair of flat panel stock with another pair of angled, another hinge point. So nothing fancy really. And I'm working on a 4 section here. And the way I'm gonna weld the angled stock is I'm gonna weld it like an inverted, well, it's a V shape. So if this was my flat panel, it would get welded like so. And then I would have a stake that would get welded to the bottom of that angled metal. And the way I'm going to do that is, if you were to take a top-down view of this angled stock, it would, again, just a very high level. Well, this pen doesn't want to cooperate. Sorry about that. I think you get the rough idea. So I'm gonna drill. These are 12-inch sections. Okay, this pen is definitely not cooperating. This is a 12-inch section. And these flat panels are also 12-inch sections. And then I'm going to drill a hole in the center. And then I'm going to have 2 holes on either side, equally spaced out. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to take a 5/16 rod, and I'm going to build it. I'm going to sharpen it on one end of it, and I'm going to cut about 1 inch length, sort of like a stake in the ground. And then I'm going to weld those stakes along those holes, so that when you set this up on a surface, the stakes will help you provide additional grip onto the surface you're mounting it on or placing it on. So that's the overall goal of this project. I've already, like I said, I lost this first portion of this video, and I'm just reshooting this, and I'll make sure I stitch this together. And what follows is the progress of my project. So I got some acetone here. I just want to clean up the flat metal stock here. And just do a quick wipe. Surprisingly, it's not that bad, but by the way, this is an 1.5 by 1/4 inch, so 1.5, 1/4 inch, and a 4-foot stock, flat metal. So I'm gonna measure this up, and I'm gonna cut this to or was it, you know what, I'll do 12 inches, so I have an even 1-foot section here. So I marked out 1-foot sections, and I will need actually 8 of these, so I have another one I'll take care of. I'll cut these out and go to the next steps, and I'll be right back. All right, we got these 1-foot, this 1-foot section here. There are 7 more to go, or 6 more to go. All right, I'll be right back. Morning coffee. I usually drink black coffee. I like these farmers market coffee mugs. Very authentic. So we got the first 4 done. I have 3 more cuts to go. Need more coffee. All right, let's get these other 2 done. I really like this vintage bandsaw. I got this at the local tried and true rather tool shop here in Fridley, Minnesota. It does a very good job. It's got its own little character to it, but for the price I paid, this works really good for what I'm trying to do, at least. So really happy with this. So I'll probably hang on to this We have one more cut to go, and I'll get that done and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I got these 8 flat metal ready to go. Alright, so we're ready. Let's get this started. There's some sunlight coming in, so please bear with the glare. So not the best drill press in the world, but gets the work done. So I got that done. I'll take it to my grinder and then, round it off a bit when finishing the project. So same on the other side. So let's get started with the other side here. Okay, I got the flat panels all drilled up, and looks like they're aligning just fine with all the holes and such. But anyways, I'm gonna just grind it down and round off these edges. So let me work on that and go from there. We'll do one at a time. All right, that seems to be looking good. This sander, by the way, I got it at the local Harbor Freight. Works really good, very nicely built. I think this is one of those very good investments at Harbor Freight. So if you guys are looking at getting a solid sander or grinder, this would be it. This would be it from the perspective of a beginner like me. All right, I got those all rounded off, and now we are ready to do the first assembly and go from there. Okay, so I got these laid out here, and the way we're going to assemble this is we're going to take these hardened bolts. In fact, I'm going to add some washers in there too while we are at it. Gives it some articulation, and we're going to add these wing nuts in there so it's easily dismantleable. Is that how you say it? Dismantleable? Yeah. All right. So that gives it a good ply and a good articulation. And then we're gonna, over here, we're gonna alternate, right? So let's do the same. And another wing nut goes here. Oh, whoa. We got a bad one in here, so that's too bad. All right. Another washer. All right, so that gives it good articulation. And we're gonna, again, alternate with the same one here. All right. So that kind of completes the one side of the tracks. Now for the other side of the track, we need to alternate the opposite of how we did with the first side of the tracks. So we're gonna do the same, only this would be on the inside and this would be on the outside. We might be running out of washers here. I don't have enough of these washers, unfortunately. Well, we'll just go with what we have for now. I'm going to put one of these smaller ones inside. So that kind of takes care of the frame. So here's just a quick view of the frame. So this angled steel would be the cross members for this. So I'm going to work on that and get back. So I'll have to cut these into 1 foot sections and figure out how many I need per section here. I'll probably need 3, given that these are 12 inches. We can place 1 at every 3 inches approximately. We'll figure something out, and I'll come back in a few here. This is a 1 foot section. This goes on like a crossbar like we talked about earlier, so I got a few more to cut here. Okay, I got these cut out. There are about 6 of them here, and they're all 12-inch sections. And I want to just smooth out some of these rough edges and deburr them, and go back to the assembly table there, and then assemble them all together. I will need more than 6, obviously, but let's start with that. In fact, you know what? I want to cut the other angled stock here. I got one more section of these I can cut, because I know for sure I will need more than 6. So let me go get that done. I'll come back. I'll then get into my grinder and deburr the rough edges. Okay, I got the 12 pieces cut out. I need to now deburr them. And I'll do that for all 12 of them. And then I need to get the studs prepared too. The studs go through the angled stock here before I weld the stock to the frame. I need to drill holes through these angled brackets for the 5/16 studs. So let me first deburr them, and then I'll talk through the the 5/16 studs, because I need to prepare those studs. That'll be my step number, or rather next step. So let's get started with this deburring. We don't want to overdo this because I'm not trying to smoothen it out by any means. I'm just trying to deburr them, that's all. Okay, I got all 12 of them done. So let's now go ahead and walk to the other table. I want to do a quick measurement for the 5/16 studs. So what I have here is a 4-foot section of 5/16 rod, and our goal is to sharpen one end of this and cut out. So we have about, I would say, an inch of stud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen it, cut it, sharpen it, cut it. So I'm going to do that now. And these, like I said, this is a 5/16 rod. So I'll have to drill, if I were to take this stock here, I'll have to drill 5/16 holes at whatever frequency here, and then weld the studs onto them. Right, so that'll be one of our steps. But let me get the studs made and I'll be back. What we can do is we can sharpen one end and then turn it around, sharpen the other end, and cut two, so we save time, or I guess we'll see. So we got this sharpened up, but I think that should be plenty good. I think so. Well, that's about half an inch of spike in there, right? I think that's plenty good. Alright, let me turn this around and then do the same on the other side. That's the other side. Alright, now I need to go get this cut. It's just a little faster. I wouldn't say that it's any sharper or, well, you know what? It's actually a little bit smoother than me turning the rod manually. And here's the other end to it. All right, so there you go. It's much better actually. Man, I tell you, the using the drill is really faster than just manually rotating the rod. This took me, I would say, 80% faster than the manual turning. So, and you know what? It's also much cleaner, as you can tell. It's very easy to tell. It's much cleaner and sharper than the manual turning. So what I'm gonna do this time around, I have this other longer rod here. I'm gonna just cut it to about a foot, actually 2 feet. I'm gonna use that drill to make a few more spikes or studs here. So here I got the rod cut into smaller bits. I'm going to use a drill to get this done faster. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here is perhaps this could be my part 1. And it's already kind of late in the night here, Saturday night. So I'm going to call this end of part 1. We got the angled stock cut out. We got the flat stock cut out and drilled. We got the skeleton framework assembled, and we saw that earlier. I also got these stakes or studs cut out and sharpened, and you saw that. In fact, what I'd like to do is, let's see. Oh, there's a lot of metal dust in there. But anyways, you can tell, for example, if you look at this one here, and then look at this one here, there's really a big difference. For example, I can maybe put these two together. Actually, yeah, this might, yeah. These two together, this one was built using, or turned using the drill, and this was hand turned. And there's clearly a very good quality difference, and I'm super impressed with the drill turning route rather than hand turning route. Moreover, with the drill turning route, I was able to save 70% of the time. So what I ended up doing with my second 5/16 rod is I was able to cut it into 3 pieces and then just used my drill to make these in just about 30% of the time of the hand turned route. So I got a few here, and what I'm hoping to do tomorrow morning before we head out to church is maybe plan how many inside of these the angle stock I will need. I'm thinking about maybe 6, right? So if I put one in the middle like so, and then spaced out, let's say like so, I think that would be plenty good. So I'm thinking total 5 is plenty good, right? So you know what, let's just go with that. Let's just go with 5, one in the middle, right in the middle, and then we'll space out the other 2 evenly. I think that'll work out really good. All right, so there are 5, and I think we have enough in here to service all 12. I think. We'll see. We'll take care of that tomorrow morning. Before I drill the holes, I want to make sure I count them and see if we have enough. All right. All right. Thanks for watching. This is end of part 1. Please do watch my part 2, which I will record tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. And hopefully I'll get it done tomorrow. And I also, well, before I close part 1, my Jeep is firecracker red. And I really like the black and red combination. So I went to the local Ace Hardware and grabbed this engine red enamel coated rust protection enamel red, or they call it engine red. So I'm gonna, once I'm all done with this, I'm gonna try to spray with this rattle can and see how that turns out. All right. So thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.